We've been in business for about 3 years. We're about a 70-person company. We're working with 25 different utilities across the country today. We're providing our services to about 2 million homes, and we're on track to be providing them to upwards of 10 million homes by the end of this year. So we're growing very quickly, and the reason why we are is because what we do works, and it works with high certainty. We really demonstrably drive down reduction. So the way we know that is that every single program we start with the utility partner, we set up initially like a clinical trial with a test group and a control group, and we deliver all of our communications to that test group, and we don't to the control, and it's a randomized trial. So just like a drug test, and at the end of the year, we can, as a consequence, very exactly measure the effect of our programs, and controlling for all of these, the economy, changes in the weather, all of these things are the same for both the test and control, and we come out with a very exact measurement of how much our program worked. And it has, in every single case, had a very substantial cost-effective impact on consumption, driving between a 1.5% and 3.5% reduction in usage. That's what has caused this rapid adoption of our platform, because the next utility looks at it and they say, wow, this is easy to implement, it drives really meaningful savings, I'm going to get credit for it from my utility commission, let's do this. I find it's horrifying to me to see how many businesses will fight against change that could be just as profitable and also help out our bigger issues. And I think that businesses need to be celebrated for supporting new business models like OPower that also have a positive impact. I mean, it's very important. I mean, we're very deliberate about not picking to do things that don't have a double bottom line to them. But I think that we can't rely on businesses to drive change in our country, and I think that if anything, we need to remember that business has its place, but that we can't count on them to drive our country in the right direction, and we need to invest in government, and we need to invest in advocacy and in public participation, and every person needs to feel that as an important part of their own livelihood, or their not livelihood, their lives. Because that's how we actually make change. It's talking to it's electing better congresspeople, and then it's talking to them and getting them, advocating to them to pursue what we think is the right thing to do. That's how we're going to get change. And I see it in my own business. The reason why my business exists is because of the good work of environmental groups and other advocacy groups to have created and to have effectively invented this policy of creating an efficiency market within which my company can play. I can't create an efficiency market. Now, we do our part. We go to the Hill, and we are one of the louder voices, actually, for energy efficiency, because it's still a nascent market, and most of the value of efficiency is expressed in parts of other products, so there aren't big efficiency lobbies. So we do our part to try and push for that at the federal level. But I wouldn't be in business if I had to create my market and create all the policy first and then go build my business. I'm standing on the shoulders of policy wonks and activists. I think there's no question in my mind that efficiency is going to continue to be a bigger and bigger piece of consumer behavior, of regulatory activity within the energy space and of business. We see it already today. I mean, If I came to you 10 years ago and said that one of the key considerations for buying a computer or a television would be the energy consumption, you'd think I was crazy. And I just bought an LED TV where literally the second line on the marketing was how energy efficient it was. So that has already begun in a very meaningful way. More and more purchase decisions made by consumers take seriously into consideration the energy consumption. And I think the LED TV is actually it's not a good example because I'm kind of out there on one end of the spectrum. But undeniably, fuel consumption in cars And even now, the energy efficiency of homes are things that people really, when you go to buy a new home, people are really probing and asking about that. What's the utility bill? What can I expect? And so we're just seeing this across the board. That's going to continue to increase. At the same time, what we've seen is a very steady expansion of energy efficiency regulation and legislation across the country. When we started the company 3 years ago, 7 states had efficiency standards. Now over 20 states have efficiency standards. And that's been purely due to legislation. Efficiency is a win-win-win. Nobody loses. So it's just about getting everybody in alignment and agreeing to spend to invest in it, because everyone comes out better on the other end. So that's going to continue to accelerate. We're going to see it also with standards. All of these different tools are being deployed, and when you put in new standards that require televisions to be more fuel or energy efficient, then that gives a new opportunity for companies like us to bring those to the market and to market them to customers. So it's a positive cycle, right? At the same time, we need solar and wind and biofuels. We need these generation sources. We need nuclear. We need, these are different ways to get to directly tackle this emissions problem. So I think all of these things we're going to see play out in the next 50 years.